One of our favorite topics on the show, if you're a Chief Concerns fan, you know that we love talking about the comeback story of Josh Gordon. And anyone knows that JD's probably Josh Gordon's biggest fan in the Chiefs community. And so that excitement was shared by our receivers coach, Joe Blameyer, this past week when he talked about the expectations they have for Josh.
I have big expectations for Josh. Like you said, the offseason here, when he got here, it was just as much as we could do to get him on the field and have him knowing his assignments. And he is extremely smart, intelligent. He knew he tackled all those challenges, and he did what we needed last year. Now he can kind of understand why, get on the same page with Pat, understand the timing and how he fits in with everybody else. Just not only the reps, but the depth and the feel, and him getting his stride back, realizing where he was when he was at the top of his game, how he was doing that. That's really where this spring is where I've seen him come this spring.
And one of the many concerns that we talked about was Gordon not being able to pick up the playbook. And that was probably the reason why he may not have got on the field or, got cut at the end of the season. But they kind of, put that, he poo-pooed that.
He's always been comfortable with the playbook. I would say he's more comfortable with himself in the role, in the offense, in what we're asking him to do, and then how he can do it. Last year, he was just so focused on what we were asking him to do. He was just not neglecting what has got him to this point, but now he's just kind of bringing it all full picture.
So JD, when you hear these kind of things about Josh Gordon, about what he learned from last year and what he's been doing this offseason, how excited are you for the resurrection of Josh Gordon?
Oh man, listen, look, I said this before, man. I'm just a huge fan in Josh from where he's come with his life, coming here, putting it all together, calling this a home that he wants to be, feel like he's dedicated to the team. And so, man, I'm always encouraged. I love a story like this. I'm pulling for his guy. I'm really pulling for his guy, just for the simple fact that things, like I said before, what he had to deal with. And so, it was a lot there what he said, but I'll say this. I'll start with this. We got to realize, and I think what everybody was expecting was Josh Gordon from 2014, right? The all-pro wide receiver. Everybody was expecting that when he first got here. And to the sense, I don't think people realize, and that's what I was trying to tell you, is like, look, it's going to take some time for a guy who hadn't necessarily been on the field consistently over the time to just come back and come play. I mean, we're talking about full speed in an NFL football game. And so we got him, I think, was it week 3 that we ended up getting him back, something like that? Do you remember what week it was?
Oh, man. I think it was like it was the Buffalo Bills game. That was week 6 or week 7.
Okay. Well, whatever week we got him, so, him trying to make that transition from a guy that had been out of football. Like I said, it wasn't like he was getting passes thrown from Patrick Mahomes, which, we're talking about a guy who is throwing lasers. I mean, really. And so he has to get used to that. I mean, just the speed and the timing of the game. Not to mention also, too, the physicality of just being out there on the field, running routes, getting pushed on, getting hit by linebackers, corners, safeties, all those different things. And so for a guy like that hadn't been playing, it was going to take some time. And like I said, it'd be different if he was on a team that like the year before and had been like that year, and been playing all those times and all those games. It'd be different. But he hadn't been doing that. And so I think right now, man, Josh Gordon is the guy that everybody wanted to be. All right. Those guys that play wide receiver, Juju, MVS, they was watching Josh Gordon. At a time in the league, he was a standard. And so all those guys wanted to be this guy. And so I think what he was talking about was, Josh Gordon, to learn like the nuances of the plays and what he needed to do, was a little bit more like self-doubt that I think he had. And so him trying to work into this offense, which is not easy, but he already said, man, Josh is an intelligent guy. It's not like the playbook was too big and too broad for him. Sometimes it's learning how to fit in the scheme of things. And so, where there be a depth of the route, maybe just getting open. Because there's a lot of, like I said before, it's just like for a smaller guys style offense of finding the windows or finding the holes. And those are things they have to learn. And so I think part of the deal that Josh was doing was he was being a little bit more robotic. He was trying to run routes, maybe the way that they were, drawn up and how he was used to running routes. And so sometimes with this offense, which it takes a long time that guys need to get, familiar with, and we're talking about getting familiar with Patrick, getting familiar with all the other wide receivers and how you fit in the scheme of things, takes time. And so a big body like Josh, who was not a little guy, but in by no measure of any other man, had to get used to that. And so I think part of that is understanding that a guy who has incredible athletic ability. And so we were hearing this from Patrick. We was hearing this from Travis. We was hearing this from all the other guys about what Josh Gordon brought out there to practice. And so what he was bringing out to practice was him running in his old style, him and his old athletic self. Well, in the game time, it's a little bit different because now all of a sudden you got bodies and things you have to worry about, like spacing, how you lean on guys, leverage in plays. Like I said, finding holes, finding windows, and all those things are like really detailed in what you want to do, systematically in the scheme of things. So, look, everybody could be sleeping on Josh. I hope they are. Because I keep seeing all of this, look, MVS, we got Juju, we got Hardman, we got Skyy Moore, and then they throw in Ross, Justyn Ross. Now, look, nothing against Justyn Ross, okay? I love Justyn Ross. I think he'll make it. He's a young guy. And Corey Coleman. We got guys. Look, we got talent in the room, man. We got guys that got experience that have played. Josh Gordon has played at a high level, okay? He was arguably the best wide receiver in the league. And I don't want nobody to forget that. But I want everybody to understand, like, that transition from him, from not playing all the time, it was going to take a little time for him to get back to that. And I think once it gets like where he's like, okay, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I understand now I could put my Josh Gordon into this. I could use my athletic ability and not think about things, because I think he was processing a lot while he was out there running routes. It takes time. He's analyzing everything what he's doing. Now, where he's not thinking and he's reacting, just playing, watch out. I'm telling you, he's going to be dangerous. And I'm pushing for this guy because I know he still has that ability. And the reason I say that, because they're like, oh, well, he's 30 years old. Well, shoot, he's 30 years old. He don't have a whole lot of miles on his legs.
Nope.
He ain't played a whole lot of games.
Yeah.
And so actually 30 years old is relatively in your prime. I mean, really, in football, and as for a man, 30 years old, man, that's perfect timing. That is perfect timing for him. Yeah. And so, like I said, he doesn't have, the 5 to 6 years of legs on him and the hits on him. I think if I did the math, I think the total of games he's played maybe came up to like 4 years, 4.5 years is what he's actually played. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Look, we got a young spring chicken on our hands, okay? And people want to count him out. Well, not this guy. I'm not counting him out. I just know what his ability, what he has and what he wields. And I think his wide receiver coach understands it too. That's why he was saying that. But I think they kind of being hush-hush. They don't want to, that's all, sometimes the expectations and people jump on there like, oh my God. He's like, look, man, you just do your work, okay? You're a veteran. You understand this. You just continue working like you are, right? You're going to make the squad. You're going to make the team, because I think he will. I really think he's going to be that guy, no doubt about it. But, man, when he started working in that timing like he was down in Texas and now getting these reps in practice, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, he's going to be a dangerous guy. He's going to add on to the offense what we need, put it that way, because of his skill set. And so, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from these young guys. These young guys got a role, and I think they're going to grow into that role. But we're talking about one of the premier wide receivers we got on the Chiefs team, without a doubt, bar none. And so I don't want everybody, because everybody was expecting 2014 Josh to show up when he got here. And it was like I said before, he's catching footballs from his little cousin, the little cousin throwing him, little ducks and stuff. And he ain't got the velocity on it like Patrick Mahomes got. Yeah. Like I said, man, he's got some speed on this thing. So that's where I'm at with it, man. I'm encouraged. I love to hear it. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit back, okay? I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna let everything work itself out. But I know veteran guys. I know how veteran guys work and then their mindset of what he's thinking. And so he's shown nothing but gratitude coming here with the Chiefs. And I think a guy, once he finds a home that he needs and that's accepting him and love him, I think he's going to be all right, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've actually been in contact with his agent trying to get him on Chief Concerns. So we're
really?
Still trying to make that happen. But, yeah, what you said, though, a lot of Chief fans, I think, just expected this 2014, Josh Gordon. And it's like, not going to get that. That's a long time ago. And I don't think he's far off from that. But, I mean, you're not going to get that. And also, forget the 2014 one. I mean, before this last go-around, he was with Seattle in 2018, I believe, or 2019.
Yeah.
He actually looked good. And that was also – they had plays that were designed for him. We already had a full offense. We kind of were just trying to fit him into what we were already doing. We're like, and I know people said, well, look at Odell when he went to the Rams this year. They had plays for him. Yeah, because they had packages just for him. We didn't do that with Josh. It was more like, this is what we're doing. Plug in at this. And like, if you're open, you're open. And that's what it seemed like. There wasn't anything for him really. Now I think with the whole offseason, I think Andy can do that. Andy can say these are Josh's plays kind of thing. And, going down to Texas and working with Pat, I think it's going to benefit him. And it's funny. Of the active guys who played last year, he's the second most senior receiver on the team now of the guys who were active, Hardman than him. So he's a returning veteran from the year before. So
right. He's the one that's been in this offense, no doubt about it. So he right now he's got that experience and a benefit over other guys. But on the OBJ, kind of argument, OBJ had been playing. He had been playing. So it wasn't like, he sat out for 2 years. It wasn't that at all. He had been playing. And so he just wasn't getting the ball in Cleveland. And that was his frustration. So, like you said, putting plays together with McVay and them guys getting those, look, they can do that. And I think their system is relatively different than what we do. I mean, it's kind of extremely different. Let me put it that way than what the Chiefs kind of do. And so, like you said, Chiefs, they had the pieces already set. We knew who was going to be here. And so that's how it was more predicated off of Tyreek, Cole, those guys, Travis. And so you tampered the offense, for those guys. And so Josh is like a piece trying to fit into the puzzle. And so him coming in, not only trying to get used to the guys on the team, right? Because that's part of the pressure, but he was making sure he wasn't going to try to do anything wrong. And so that makes him become, kind of robotic, not wanting to mess up. And he can't really play athletically like he wants to. And so now this offseason and this time, affords him that.
Yeah.
And this is why I think it's so important why the Chiefs made sure they kept him here. That's the reason. Because they knew what they had. And they knew they was like, man, once this guy gets this and he understands what it is we're expecting out of him, what we want, and he understands the offense, to the absolute T and the detail, yeah, we gonna be all right. So I seen when the little interview and the coach he was excited. You could see, his eyes. He was like, yeah, man, this guy's a smart guy. I mean, it's not the playbook. Shoot. It's just him, learning where he fits.
Yeah.
Understand the scheme of it. So yeah, he's gonna be good, man. I'm looking for him. I'm pushing for him. Hey, look, Josh, come see us, man. All right, come out here, come see us, come talk to us. All right, your boy got your back, man. Your boy got your back. All right, so. It's
very true. Since the get-go of signing you, Josh, this guy's been that number one guy in the Josh Gordon fan club in the Chiefs Kingdom. I do gotta say this. I think you're right. I think they are trying to not give too much with this whole Josh Gordon thing. Because reading that quote, a lot of it was a lot of talk that didn't really make any sense. Sometimes you listen to politicians speak and it's like they ramble and ramble and ramble. It's like, what are you saying? So it's like he said a lot of stuff in there, but it's not like it was kind of vague in a way where he didn't really give too much. It was a lot, but really not much there. Not really big nuggets there, but you can tell he's excited.
He's excited, man. He's measuring what he's saying because he understands that's how he should be, right? Yeah. And the thing is, you don't want to amp up somebody, even more than what they are. The only one you should be doing with that is Patrick, Travis, and the stars that's here. Yeah. All the other guys, it's like, man, they still earning their stripes. They're still earning what they need to do to get here in this offense. But I will say this guy right here is showing up. I see this out of him. I know he's locked in. So when you mention a guy like that, which we really didn't have to, you didn't have to mention him. Mm-hmm. But hey,
yeah,
it's promising. I like it.
And it's something that we talked about before. He's just so different from the other receivers we have on the team. Yeah, if you look at this, Austin, we did go out and get more bigger body type guys, but he's still so much different than everybody else. I mean, than we have on the roster, and so like that alone will always set him up for being good in this offense. But what you said is right. A lot of these Chief fans, they talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers that we'll have, or the 6 we'll have, and some don't even mention him on there. I'm like, he's going to make the team. I mean,
look, man, come on. I'm like, cut it out, man. Seriously. I mean, look, I get all the hype, with these guys and who we got, like with Justin Ross and those guys. But like I said before, Gordon was the standard. And so, like I said, he's a guy that's still young, relative like that, as far as like not getting the hits and stuff on him. Didn't have a lot of miles on his legs. He's going to be fun to watch. He's going to be fun watching this offense. And I'm pushing for all the other guys too, man. I'm just saying that I think, Josh is going to be the surprise. I mean, if he comes out and kills it, he ain't going to surprise me. Not at all. Sure. No. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that sexy sports car that's been in the garage for the last couple of years. You don't really drive it. Maybe take it out on the weekends, but you sold your other cars. You want to go with that full time now, and that's what we're doing with Josh Gordon. We're taking off the tarp and we're out rolling it out.
Wipe it down like with a diaper or something. Just make sure it's just like okay. And just looking at it because you just know one day I'm just gonna get out there, man, and I'm gonna absolutely let this thing fly. So, yes, sir.
That's So I'm very excited about the whole Josh Gordon stuff, and I know we've talked about it, like just knowing football, talking to you, like you thought Josh Gordon was gonna come out and look and be productive in this offense this year. Seeing that the receiver coach kind of doubling down on that, just like okay, Josh Gordon might have a legitimate year in this offseason, in this offense this year. So excited for it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.